You're watching the IFL on Stadium. This week we come to you from the desert, a scorching hot 109-degree afternoon in Phoenix, Arizona. For the first time in nearly 2 years, it's game day from the Snake Pit. It's the home opener for the Arizona Rattlers as they welcome an in-state rival, the Tucson Sugar Skulls, to Phoenix Suns Arena for the IFL Game of the Week on Stadium. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Phoenix with the three-time Super Bowl champion Dale Hellestrae. I'm Noah Reed. Coming into this season, Tucson head coach Dixie Wooten said his team would contend for a United Bowl championship in 2021, but it's been a less than ideal start at 1-2. I know it's early. It's only 3 games into the season, Dale, but how significant is it for Tucson to get back on track today?
Well, I think it is significant, but Coach Guy, looking across the field at him, has been in this position. When the Rattlers came into the Indoor Football League, they struggled out of the gate. They finished strong. I have no doubt that Dixie Wooten will get the Sugar Skulls along the same path.
It's a tough start having to go against this Arizona team here in Phoenix, and if there's one thing Arizona knows about, it's developing franchise quarterbacks, and the guy they have right now is Drew Powell, who is a former league MVP and the current Offensive Player of the Week.
He just puts so much pressure on the defense. He can throw the ball. He can run the ball. He pressures every level of the defense. One thing he needs to do this evening is cut down on turnovers, can't throw those interceptions.
Yeah, he's a really good quarterback, a league MVP a couple seasons ago. It's Tucson and it's Arizona. After the break, we'll send it back to our stadium studios in Chicago for Michael Kim to take us through the pregame show. It's Tucson and Arizona coming up next here on Stadium.
Hi, I'm Michael Kim from our stadium studio. We will get you back out to the game in Arizona in just a bit. But first, we want to give you the opportunity to play, watch, and win great prizes by signing up now at watchstadium.com/you-make-the-call. You'll be able to engage like never before within an IFL gamified experience through prediction-based games, poll questions, and more. Prizes include IFL tickets, team merchandise, and VIP experiences. The grand prize winner at the end of the season will win a trip for two to the 2021 IFL Championship game. Throughout the season, the gamified experience will intensify with more opportunities to win. You can play along weekly or for the whole season. Tonight's free prediction-based experience will lock a few minutes after kickoff. Here are the You Make the Call winners from last week. Jackson wins the week, followed by Brandon and Adam. Winners receive awesome IFL merchandise, and Jackson wins 2 tickets to an IFL game, which includes on-field access before kickoff. Remember, you can't win unless you play. Go to watchstadium.com/you-make-the-call to play, watch, and win. Enjoy the game, everyone. We'll see you back here at the half.
It's the IFL Game of the Week on Stadium, just moments away from kicking off in the desert. A beautiful Phoenix, Arizona Saturday afternoon gets us set for an in-state rivalry of Tucson and Arizona from Phoenix Suns Arena. It's been a well-anticipated almost 2 years in awaiting for Arizona fans, as the Rattlers did not have a 2020 season, nor did anyone in the IFL, canceled due to COVID, and after having 3 consecutive road games to open the season, the Rattlers are finally back at home for the first time since the 2019 season, when they went undefeated and lost in the United Bowl championship game. They take on the Tucson Sugar Skulls, 1-2 entering today, coming off of a tough home opening loss against a really good Iowa Barnstormers team that has the reigning IFL MVP and Daquan Neal. It's crucial, Dale, to be able to get off to a good start on the road for this Tucson team here today.
One of the things that's really going to jump out to me is they like to play at different paces. Coach Guy and the Rattlers, they want to get 13, 14 possessions each team during the game, while you're going to see the Tucson Sugar Skulls try to slow things down just a little bit. They'd like to keep this game at 8 to 9 possessions let's see who can control the pace of the game.
There's Kevin Guy, the 13th year head coach of the Arizona Rattlers. He is the second all-time winningest head coach in IFL history, only behind Curtis Riggs of the Sioux Falls Storm. Look at the crowd on hand here in Phoenix Suns Arena for the IFL Game of the Week. The Arizona Rattlers' only loss this season came on the road in Week 2 against the defending IFL champions in Sioux Falls. 2 road wins to open the season for the Rattlers, and now for the first time they welcome an opponent into their home. It's the Tucson Sugar Skulls. Won the toss, elected to defer, and the Sugar Skulls kick it away, and we are underway from Phoenix Suns Arena for the IFL Game of the Week. Harrington from the 5 gets a gap, and he's upended down near the 19-yard line. Good starting field position for the Rattlers to begin the game.
One of the things that I know the Arizona Rattlers spend an inordinate amount of time on is special teams. They want to get that thing clicking again like they had 2 seasons ago.
Here's the starting lineups, and for Arizona, we can talk about the skill positions all we want, but those 3 guys at the bottom, Dale, the offensive linemen, the best offensive line in the IFL.
Lamar Mady, he's been a perennial all-indoor football league dominant offensive lineman, and the rest of them are playing really well.
A 3-time all first-team selection. Powell goes to the air on the first play, and it's a 5-yard pickup to Braxton Haley. A lot of the damage, Dale, has been done by Jamal Miles and Jared Harrington at the wide receiver spot, but Kevin Guy said, I'm looking for someone to step into that third role, and it might be Braxton Haley.
Well, very well might be, and they do need somebody besides Jamal Miles, and Coach Guy puts that up for competition each and every week.
Powell keeps it this time. One of the biggest dual threats in the league. Scampers away from a defender, and he dives down to the 23-yard line, a couple yards shy of the first down marker.
That's what we talked about in the open, the fact that you put pressure on every level of the defense. And that time you have to stay home if you're that backside defensive end. The linebacker has to come up and make the play. Not able to do it, brings up 3rd down and short.
Dixie Wooten, the head coach of Tucson, said, hey, it's pretty obvious, but one of our big things coming into this week is we have to be able to contain Drew Powell. Let's see what he's got on his first 3rd down try of the game today. Plenty of time. Flag comes in. It's completed for a first down to Braxton Haley again for the moment, but we'll have to check on the laundry.
I think you're gonna get the Sugar Skulls defensive line moving before the snap.
Defense, Tucson was out of his stance to the snap, number 19. That penalty declined. Result of play, first down.
Well, a penalty declined. That's another first down and another catch by Braxton Haley to open up this opening drive.
Well, that was on Chris Martin, number 19 for the Sugar Skulls. He's a defending sack leader for the Indoor Football League, a guy that the Rattlers have focused on all week long.
So inside the 15-yard line here for Powell. A lot of time. Pump fakes. Now escapes. This is where he's dangerous. Powell, touchdown Arizona.
A 13-yard keeper by Drew Powell.
He had 4 total touchdowns last week to be the offensive player of the week, and he gets started right away today, Dale.
Just so difficult. You have to keep your lanes, the defensive lineman. You're rushing the passer, you're almost there, and Powell can take off. He's 6'3", 220 pounds with a burst.
A huge dual threat guy who you've seen throw a couple completions, has the 13-yard touchdown run, and now the extra point is straight down the middle. Good start for Arizona here at home. 7-0. The Rattlers open it up on the back of their former MVP quarterback, Drew Powell. 13 yards. Touchdown, Rattlers.
Saturday night is game night on Stadium with the Indoor Football League Game of the Week. Play along at home through prediction games, poll questions, and other challenges to win prizes and VIP experiences. Sign up today for a shot at the grand prize and make the predictions before kickoff. Then tune into Stadium's IFL Game of the Week on Saturday nights to play along. Play, watch, and win with the IFL Game of the Week. Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on Stadium.
We welcome you back to Phoenix Suns Arena. It didn't take long for Arizona in the home opener to get on the board. The MVP quarterback, Drew Powell, has the Rattlers up 7-0. A 4-play drive, a touchdown, and now here's the return for Tucson. And a crushing hit inside the 10-yard line. Jazarick Peterson gets blown up in the 8-yard line. Ricky Wyatt Jr. the first to make the play.
The one thing when you talk about the Arizona Rattlers, I talked about the importance of special teams. Their fourth wide receiver, their fourth lineman, their extra guys, they're all going to be contributors on special teams. You're going to see a bunch of starters running down on kicks, and I think that gives them an advantage.
This is the opening drive for Tucson, already down 7-0. Rookie quarterback Demi Croft at the controls for the Sugar Skulls. Bad snap, and he has to fall on it inside the 5-yard line. Not the ideal start for Tucson, giving up a touchdown, and then the opening offensive play goes for -4 on a bad snap.
Wow, that looked like it was a mess from the beginning. Nobody knew who was going to go into motion, and then somebody stops, and the snap comes out early. And boy, you look at that all week long. You want to script some plays. You want the first play to be crisp, and it was anything but that.
So that backs them up to the 4-yard line and makes it 2nd and 14 with very little breathing room here for Croft and company. Croft pressured, gets rid of it, and it's incomplete. The officials now getting together to discuss.
Going to be a safety in the end zone.
Intentional grounding. Offense number 11.
It's an intentional grounding.
The ball did not cross the line of scrimmage.
And so it's a safety.
It's a safety.
Seemed like the same formation setup as the previous play, and you could see the coach is still upset over at the Sugar Skulls sideline. And remember, the reason that turned into intentional grounding is because the ball did not get back to the line of scrimmage. That's why the officials get together, they talk, it didn't. Therefore, the penalty in the end zone makes it a safety.
Well, Dale, I don't know if you can draw up a more perfect start for the Rattlers in the home opener. 4 plays, a touchdown, and then you come back on defense, and on the second play already get a safety to take a 9-0 lead.
You can't draw it up any better for the Rattlers, and if you're the visiting Tucson Sugar Skulls, you couldn't draw up anything worse to get started trying to get back in the win column.
It's a young Tucson team, and you get the feel that with a nice crowd on hand here for Arizona in the home opener, that things have gotten to them early here in the first 4+ minutes. If you're Dixie Wooten on that sideline for Tucson, what's the message to, hey guys, we got to calm down here early?
Well, you just wonder, because again, you script things during the week, and you have that first play that you're going to run. And if you can't get lined up in the correct formation and run the correct motions, you got to wonder where your players' heads are early in this football game.
So after the safety, Brown to kick it away for Tucson. Here's Harrington from the 3-yard line. Bounces to the edge, gets clipped into the boards near the 15-yard line. Already a quick touchdown drive, only 2 minutes into the game for Arizona. The offense is back out onto the field for the Rattlers.
We talked about that pace of the game when we talked about multiple possessions. Keep an eye on that. Rattlers wanting 12, 13, 14 possessions, and you're going to want this Sugar Skulls team is going to want to slow that pace down a little bit if they can.
Only 5 minutes in, but that pace is heavily in favor of this Rattlers team, already up 9-0. Our first look at Monroe, and he's twisted down back behind the line of scrimmage. Shakur Phillip, the third-year player out of Widener University, gets to him and brings him down for a loss.
Well, that play was really stuffed by Terrence Fulham, the right defensive end, getting penetration, getting upfield, and making Monroe turn back into the Sugar Skull defense where everybody was coming from. Nice play by number 41, Fulham, for Tucson.
First good play that's went in favor of the Sugar Skulls. Quick throw, far sideline, and thrown into the boards for a 5-yard pickup. That's Troy Pelletier, rookie out of Lehigh, a 3-time All-Patriot League selection.
Well, one of those guys I think the Rattlers are expecting big things from. Guys always like big receivers. You know, got a bunch of 5'9", 5'10" guys, and then you got Pelletier, who's over 6 foot tall.
Yeah, 6'3" rookie. They've got a lot out of him in the first 3 weeks of the season so far. 1 of 1 on third down today. Deep shot, end zone, and he just overshoots Miles. 4th down.
Pretty good coverage downfield by Mike Minter. You got one-on-one is a two-way go for Jamal Miles, and you're not going to win that battle very often. Make the quarterback throw it deep, uncatchable, and that brings up 4th down. Coach Guy says there's very few teams he believes in the indoor football league who can stop his offense on 4 downs.
He said if we don't get a conversion on 4th down, it's because we've done something wrong ourselves, maybe turned it over or miscommunicated a play, but he believes in his offense to get every 4th down try. Need to get it to midfield for a 1st down. Powell over the middle, finds his favorite target in Harrington, and he picks up 12 yards for a 1st down.
All starts with great protection up front. Nobody in Powell's face, nobody harassing the quarterback. Had all day to step back there, read the field, drops the pass in. You see right here, nobody near the quarterback. That's a quarterback's friend, and he could go to his 2nd and 3rd read before he completed the pass.
4 completions for Powell to 3 different receivers. They've had 2 guys that have done most of the damage through the first 3 weeks, but they're starting to get everybody involved. Monroe stretches to the edge, and he's clipped down by the ankles. Delando Boyd, the rookie, makes the tackle, and it's a minimal gain.
Really nice job by Boyd coming up and being physical at the point of attack. A lot of times with a running back as big as Monroe, you'll see defensive backs make business decisions and not really want to come up and tackle him that physically, but you got to take your head off. The Boyd comes up and makes the tackle for a short gain.
Just 3 yards on the pickup that time for Monroe. Powell empty in the shotgun. Faces pressure, throws off his back foot and into the stands. He was looking for Monroe as running back that time through the pass game.
You've got to give this Tucson defense credit. They're going to play a lot of zone, try and keep things in front of them, try and force the Rattlers into making a mistake. Be patient. And in this league, it's really hard to be able to do that series after series.
Good start for Powell, already 34 yards through the air. The first 2 drives, has a rushing touchdown to his name as well. Tucson's gotten Arizona into 3rd and 4th down a lot in the first 2 drives, but the Rattlers have been great. Here's the throw to the end zone, and it's just knocked away at the very end of the play.
Well, you see these defenses trying all different ways to contain Powell. That way, that particular play, Tucson tried to use a spy. It was their nose tackle, Phillip. Well, Phillip's 6'1", 305 pounds. He's not going to be able to chase Powell down, but Powell having to throw across his body. Pass gets broken up and brings up another 4th down.
Well, a lot of times it's not necessarily about stopping Powell. It's just limiting what he likes to do most. 4th down and 7. 1 for 1 on 4th down today. Powell has to get rid of it. Flag comes in, and it's incomplete. We'll have to check on the flag, but this is a great defensive drive for Tucson.
Legal contact beyond 5 yards. Defense number 22. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Well, legal contact negates what would have been a 4th down stop for Tucson. And instead, the penalty gives Arizona a first down.
Well, for those people who believe that the NFL has softened the rules for more scoring, you're in for a treat, because in the indoor football league, it is really, really hard to cover receivers downfield, especially if you have to do it for any length of time.
And it's especially hard when you have that guy throwing the football too, and Drew Powell. On first down, he fakes it, keeps it. Powell bulldozes to the end zone, his 2nd rushing touchdown.
Drew Powell with a keeper, an 8-yard rush.
And what do? Really nice job by Chris Martin. Chris Martin makes a tackle on Monroe. The only problem is Monroe doesn't have the ball. Powell reads him, keeps the football himself, and is able to lower that shoulder and get in the end zone.
2 drives, 2 rushing touchdowns for the current IFL Offensive Player of the Week, Drew Powell. Ernesto Lacayo's kick is through. 16-0. Drew Powell doing the damage with his legs today. 2 rushing touchdowns. Phoenix Suns Arena has to love what they're seeing right now early. 4:13 to play in the first quarter. A couple of touchdowns from the Arizona offense, a safety from the Arizona defense. It's all Rattlers early, Dale.
It certainly is in this building. For somebody who lives here in Phoenix, this building's seen a lot of scoring the last couple of weeks. Phoenix Suns continuing on in the playoffs, and now the Rattlers finally getting to play a football game here in the new arena.
It's been about 2 years in the making. No games in 2020 here for the Rattlers at home. The first 3 games of this season on the road for Arizona, and finally in week 4, the Rattlers find themselves at home and giving the home fans a lot to be excited for in the first 11 minutes. Lacayo kicks it deep, taken in the end zone for the return. Nowhere to go. Dobbs makes the tackle, and it's another drive for Tucson that starts inside their own 10-yard line on the Butler return.
You see the wall of dark jerseys there. Great coverage, but it all starts with the kick. And they work on that all the time in practice with the Rattlers. You want a high kickoff about midway through the end zone. Let your guys get down there and cover the football.
Kevin Guy has led Arizona to 6 national championships in his 13 years as the head coach. They've got that on their minds early this season as well. Jones spins away from a tackler. He's got a little bit of space, and he gets shoved into the boards at the 13-yard line. Jones, the former first-team All-IFL running back, makes something out of nothing.
And he has definitely drawn the attention of other teams in the indoor football league. You said a former all-leaguer. Look for him to catch some footballs out of the backfield this evening, but that was a tremendous run to pick up 5 yards.
They've relied on him heavily with a rookie quarterback in Demery Croft in the first 3 games. Croft throws it over the head of Shelby, and it's incomplete.
Intended for number 9, Kent Jones, the second.
Always interesting to see how teams are going to come out and scheme against this Rattlers defense. Kevin Guy, very aggressive defensively, plays a lot of man-to-man, tries to force you into mistakes, and right now I think it's super important for Tucson to just pick up a first down, settle down a little bit as a football team and as a quarterback in Demery Croft.
This is the best third down defense in the league. The Arizona Rattlers only allow teams to convert 31% of the time. First third down they face today on defense. Croft, clean pocket, and it's incomplete. He was looking for his favorite target, Ryan Ballantyne, and it brings up fourth down.
Well, that time I think the Rattlers kind of confused him a little bit, went into a little bit of a zone defense, and Devin Cockrell back there playing center field, making sure that pass couldn't be complete.
That's something Arizona doesn't do a whole lot of, is go to zone, but when they do, it's usually moments like this, third and fourth down, to throw off the offenses. Last couple minutes here of the first quarter. Fourth down, Croft picks up the first down. He finds Shelby at the 20-yard line.
Well, that's what you want from your young quarterback. You want to get the ball out of his hands early, complete a couple passes, get a good feel for your receivers and the speed of the defense that he's facing. I think you'll probably see him settle down, him being Demery Croft, a little bit, the more passes he completes.
That was his first one today, now 1 of 3 through the air. He's got time. He can scramble. He does. Has the first down. Flag comes in at the very end of that play in the backfield, though.
And usually that says offensive
Run, holding, offense, number 60. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. It's first down.
And it is holding. So negate the first down run from Croft, the quarterback, and make it first down and a long way to go with just over a minute to play in the first quarter.
They get Matt Burrell, the center, this first game back this season. They're excited about him. He's a difference maker up front for this Tucson football team. Got to obviously get his feet under him a little bit. 6'4", 305 pounds, anchor in the middle of that offensive line.
It was one of the first things that Dixie Wooten told us earlier this week, is how excited he was to have Burrell in the middle of that offensive line back for the first time this season. First and 20 from the 10-yard line. Over the middle, he's got Ballantyne, who can't quite haul it in with one hand. Good coverage down the field from Braxton Haley. Dylan Winfrey.
Well, Ballantyne turned around and was running backwards. I think if you're Croft, you want to put the ball a little further outside, let your receiver run underneath it, but he had turned around and was running backwards. You don't like receivers to do that very much, but who am I to tell Ryan Ballantyne what to do? Here he's 50 yards away from setting an indoor football league reception yardage record.
8 seasons in the IFL.
That is the end.
Demery Croft, 1
quarter.
of 5 for just 7 yards to begin this game. Through a 1 quarter of play, it's been all Rattlers here at home. A 16-0 lead on a gorgeous Phoenix evening. Back to Phoenix Suns Arena, the start of the second quarter. The Arizona Rattlers with 2 touchdowns. They also get a safety on defense, and they lead Tucson by a couple possessions through 1 quarter. It's time now for the fan of the game. We have 3 fans for you to vote on, and once you have made your choice, head on over to @Stadium on Twitter to vote for your choice in the poll. There's a look at fan number 1. You got the mask on, the Tucson Sugar Skulls fan invading the home territory of the Rattlers here in the Rattlers season opener. So that is fan number 1 for your choice to vote on the Twitter poll at @Stadium. Another look at some Arizona Rattler fans. Fans number 2 here in the home opener for Arizona, taking in the sights and sounds for the first time in nearly 2 years. That's a look at fan number 2. And fan number 3, you got the snake tied around your head. He is ready for some IFL football. That is a look at fan number 3. So be sure to head over to @Stadium on Twitter. You can vote for fan number 1, 2, or 3. We will make that announcement who our fan of the game is coming up at the start of the 4th quarter. 16-0 through 1 quarter of play. Arizona on top of Tucson. And it's a 2nd down and long for Tucson to start the second. Croft just 1 of 5 through the air in the first quarter. Looks sideline, has a man. It's Jones, the running back, who gets planted into the boards, but it's a 15-yard pickup. And Dale, that makes 3rd down a lot more manageable.
Well, it certainly does. And what a nice job concentrating on the football by Jones. You know you've got the wall there. You've got Pearson coming at you from the field. Tremendous job concentrating on the football, and give me 3rd down and 5 all evening long.
Dixie Wooten said that they're going to get Mike Jones involved as much as they can through the pass game because of how much of a dual threat he is out of the backfield. Third down, quick throw to the sideline, and that's caught at the 20-yard line. Right at the sticks by Ryan Ballantyne, his first catch today.
Well, it could be interesting to see where they mark this. I thought he caught it on the 20-yard line, and now it's a full yard back.
Correction, 4th down.
So they're saying only 4 yards instead of 5.
Yeah, I think you're going to challenge. You see the challenge back come out very, very quickly. I thought he caught that ball right at the 20-yard line, and by the time the ball was picked up and brought back in, the Sugar Skulls lost a full yard.
That's what that looked certainly like to us on the replay there, that it was at the 20-yard line when Ballantyne made the catch.
Well, the thing is, usually in the indoor football league, the NFL, in not as much in college, but if it's close, they give it to you. Hey, let's keep the clock moving and things like that. But I think you're going to see they subtracted a whole yard, and he's going to have to waste a challenge for this.
Get another look at it here. It looks pretty
previous play
clear
is
cut.
not reviewable.
And that
the
ball
result
was
of the play
caught
was
at the
completed
20-yard
catch.
line, right
It's
at the
4th
sticks
down.
by Ryan Ballantyne.
I couldn't hear what the not reviewable.
Wow. That's a tough break for Tucson to start things.
Write that down in your little play-by-play book. Let's see if they can pick up the 1st down.
Well, that sure looked like 5 yards, but the officials say 4, and it brings up a 4th down and 1. Croft, plenty of time. End zone, touchdown Shelby.
Pass complete to number 9, Shelby
Gutsy call. Rattlers playing aggressive, thinking they're just going to pick up the 1st down, bring everybody up tight, run a double move, have a lot of confidence in your quarterback, Croft, have a ton of confidence in your receiver, Shelby. They're able to connect for the touchdown.
The rookie quarterback Croft threw 5 touchdowns 2 weeks ago. That's his first today to get the Sugar Skulls on the board. Daniel Brown on to attempt the point after, and it's blocked. They get the 6, but unable to get the extra point. Croft throws a touchdown, and it's a 10-point Rattlers lead. always beautiful Phoenix, Arizona. This city always busy. Has been even busier this week, especially inside this arena here at Phoenix Suns Arena, the IFL Game of the Week on Stadium. Monday night, Suns playoff game. Tuesday night, Mercury game. Wednesday night, Suns playoff basketball. And then Friday night, last night, a Mercury game. And here on Saturday, the Rattlers have the home opener. Harrington on the return from the goal line. Slithers through a couple defenders, and he's twisted down at the 14-yard line.
Harrington a threat to take it back every time he gets his hands on the ball. Nice job covering the kick, but their field position is always better after the kick than the Tucson team so far in this first half.
Both of Tucson's drives have started inside their own 10-yard line, and every Arizona drive now has started at least the 14-yard line. Arizona 2 of 2 so far on offensive drives, both rushing touchdowns by Drew Powell. This is their first look here in the second quarter. Powell, play action, gets loose. Drew Powell's got the first down all the way into Tucson territory at the 20-yard line.
He's not going to get a whole lot of credit for it, but Daryl Monroe stepped up and took on T.T. Barber, the linebacker rush, and Monroe gets knocked down, but that opens up a gaping hole for Powell to run through and pick up the first down.
More than 10 yards per carry for Powell already today, 42 yards on 4 carries. Monroe deserves a lot of credit, but Dale, so does that offensive line. It's one of the best in all of the IFL. Here's Powell, clean pocket. Has Haley again. First down, Haley. Dives to the goal line, but he's down at the 2.
Every pass play, start with the look up front. Very clean. You're talking about Jones, Garola, Mady, those 3 offensive linemen for the Arizona Rattlers, giving Powell plenty of time to throw the football, survey the field, and they make it look rather easy.
Powell's making it an emphasis to get Haley involved. Only had 4 catches on the season coming into it. He's already got 3 today. Here's the toss. First run play for Monroe of the drive, and he goes untouched into the end zone.
Once Monroe gets that head of steam running downhill, there are very few linebackers, secondary guys who are going to be able to get him on the ground. Just a wrecking ball with a lot of finesse when he wants it.
Third rushing touchdown of the season for Monroe. Lacayo's extra point is good. A perfect 3 for 3 on offensive drives today for the Rattlers. This time it's 2 yards out from the running back, Daryl Monroe. 23-6, Arizona up big. IFL Game of the Week on Stadium sees Arizona jump out to a big lead over in-state foe Tucson with just under 10 minutes to play in the second quarter. Noah Reed and three-time Super Bowl champion Dale Hellestray with you for the IFL Game of the Week. Ernesto Lacayo to boot it deep to Tucson, up by 17 in the early second quarter. All the way back at the end zone on a great kick from Lacayo. And stood up at the 10-yard line. Corey Butler Boyd makes the return out to the 10-yard line. And that coverage for Arizona on kickoffs, Dale, have been really, really good today.
All starts with the kickoff. Lacayo, really nice job getting that ball up in the air, number one. And, it's probably hold your breath a little bit if you're a Rattler fan. Is that going to go out of the field of play? But, boy, you couldn't draw it up any better. And these guys are hustling down on the coverage.
Kevin Guy's club up to a 17-point lead. Demery Croft, though, the Tucson quarterback, has figured things out over the last couple drives. Led them to a touchdown last time out. He keeps it. He's got a first down and across midfield.
Well, one of the great things about the Indoor Football League, a souvenir for a fan over there, the first row. Obviously, it's a set-up run, designed run, picks up the first down, leaves the ball over the wall, and a fan walks away with a souvenir on a happy night here in Phoenix.
Dixie Wooten said his favorite part about Demery Croft is the dual threat ability that he's got. We've seen the arm. That's the first time we've seen the leg. Now Jones stretches it outside. Gets pushed into the boards inside the 20-yard line.
Giovanzo doing a nice job running down the line of scrimmage, trying to cut him off at the pass. It'd be interesting to see as this game goes along. Can they incorporate Mike Jones more and more and more? He's a guy who seems like as the game goes on, he kind of gets that second wind and can wear down a defense. Let's see if that happens as this game progresses.
How would you get him involved?
Well, again, throwing the football, and I would be running him at a lot more inside. He's 220 pounds, 5'11", low center of gravity.
Delay a game. Offense.
It's a delay a game against the offense.
5-yard penalty. It's second down.
So that backs up Tucson 5 yards. And it's second down and long for Dixie Wooten's club about halfway through the second quarter. Ball at midfield. Croft hasn't seen a lot of pressure. Deep shot, incomplete. Great coverage downfield. Dylan Winfrey again makes the play on the back end for the defense.
Winfrey, 5'8", 5'9", 185 pounds, physical from that safety position, comes up and makes a play on the football. Officials let him play on that.
It's about the second or third time we've seen him make a play one-on-one defensively in this first half. Seven to play. Third down and long from midfield. Croft unleashes and overthrows Shelby on the far sideline. Fourth down.
Well, that looked like one of those throws that a young kid's going to make. He's got a strong arm, can throw the football down the field, but sometimes those throws down the sidelines, they need a little air under them. They need a little touch. When is that going to come into play for Demery Croft? Let your receiver go run underneath it and make a play.
He's thrown a touchdown already today. The lone score for Tucson. Sugar Skulls are a perfect 2 of 2 on fourth down today, but it's 4th and 12 over the middle. It's caught by Peterson, and he twists his way down to the 9-yard line. A first down on 4th and 12 for Tucson.
6'1", 190 pounds. Watch him right here, reach out in front of him. Didn't know if there's be somebody there to hit him or not. Puts his body on the line, able to keep his balance, pick up the first down, and rejuvenate this offense a little bit to keep the drive alive.
Dale, he's spreading it out really well. 5 completions, 4 different targets. First and goal from the 9. Croft bounces outside, now cuts it in for a touchdown.
Well, he's not going to get a whole lot of credit for it, but Kent Shelby, the wide receiver, does a tremendous job really taking 2 Rattlers out on the second level. And you can see Croft has a lot of the same athletic ability that when you see Drew Powell carry the football. Croft 6'5", 200 pounds, a little bit lighter, but boy, is he dynamic when the football is in his hands.
First rushing touchdown this season for the quarterback Croft. Brown's kick is straight down the middle. Tucson responds right away after the Arizona touchdown. The rookie quarterback Croft scampers 9 yards to the end zone.
With teams from coast to coast and growing, we are the Indoor Football League. The IFL is the nation's longest continuously running pro indoor football league, and we want you to get in on the action. Visit goifl.com to watch games, learn about our players and coaches, and click on your favorite team's site for tickets and official team merchandise. Follow us on social media and visit goifl.com.
10-point Arizona lead here at home, under 5 minutes to play in the first half. You Make the Call is live at watchstadium.com/YouMakeTheCall. Join in on the gamified experience through prediction-based questions and more. Play, watch, and win great prizes like IFL tickets, team merchandise, and VIP experience. It's never too late to sign up for the season-long experience at watchstadium.com/YouMakeTheCall. Well, Dale, it wasn't the greatest of starts for Tucson. They got down 16-0 in the first few minutes of this game, but the Sugar Skulls have calmed down a little bit. They've got some composure, and it's just a 10-point game here in the second quarter.
And they've done a nice job recovering from that slow start. A lot of teams against the Arizona Rattlers, they get down in a hurry, and all it does is snow piles onto them. And they did a nice job coming back. Again, I expect that at the end of the year, this team, the Sugar Skulls, are going to be right in the thick of things. Dixie Wooten's too good of a coach to struggle through much longer in this season. I was amazed when I was doing research for the game that he's never lost to Kevin Guy.
Yeah.
4-0 coaching against Kevin Guy, and I promise you Kevin Guy knows that. And so you know the guy can coach, and it's just a matter of time before it all starts rolling in the same direction.
Yeah, something's got to give tonight. Dixie Wooten 4-0 against Arizona. Kevin Guy is 2-0 all-time against Tucson as Harrington goes crashing into the boards for 2 yards.
T.T. Barber, the linebacker, coming over to make the tackle. This is 6 foot, 225 pounds. Nice job running sideline to sideline, physical. You can see him right there, low in that shoulder. And again, just for added intensity, let's get hit on one side and run into the wall on the other.
Yeah, T.T. Barber at the linebacker spot. Dixie Wooten said, that guy's crucial. If he can help stop the run, we have a chance tonight. Powell over the middle. Miles caught it, bobbled it, and then reeled it back in a yard shy of the first down marker.
Well, he is their best wide receiver here in Arizona. Again, tremendous hit by T.T. Barber. Puts his head on the football. Ball comes out. Great concentration by Miles. Able to reach up in thin air, grab the football, and come down with the catch.
Jamal Miles, the veteran wide receiver out of Arizona State. He does a lot not only in the receiving game but the return game as well. He gets it off the toss here, makes a man miss, and he's taken down inside the 15-yard line. A pickup of 12 on the run for Miles.
Looking like a well-oiled machine, running the ball, pass the ball. But I see this Arizona Rattlers, when it's hitting on all cylinders like this, It puts pressure on the defense not only at every level, but sideline to sideline. And over the course of 4 quarters, that tends to wear most teams out by the time you get into the fourth quarter.
It's a second straight play that they get Miles involved. A reception and a run. Powell this time keeps it. Defense swarms to him, and he's yanked down by Delando Boyd, the rookie out of St. Francis.
Boyd's going to get the credit for the tackle, but Terrence Fulham, 6'2", 250 pounds, number 41, came up and made the initial contact and made Powell go back inside where all the white jerseys were coming from. Nice job slowing him down.
That's not the first time you said Fulham's names in those terms right there, that he's not the one that gets the tackle, but he's the one that helps create the tackle.
Yes, he does. I promise you the coaches notice.
Powell, end zone. No flag on the play. It looked like the two got tied up in the end zone, and Pelletier wanted a flag but doesn't get it. Third down. A timeout taken by Tucson up ahead of this third down play.
Tucson, their first
Arizona trying to answer back here, up by 10.
Saturday night is game night on Stadium with the Indoor Football League Game of the Week. Play along at home through prediction games, poll questions, and other challenges to win prizes and VIP experiences. Sign up today for a shot at the grand prize and make your predictions before kickoff. Then tune into Stadium's IFL Game of the Week on Saturday nights to play along. Play, watch, and win with the IFL Game of the Week. Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on Stadium.
Final 92 seconds here of the second quarter from Phoenix Suns Arena. Arizona up by 10 on Tucson, trying to bounce back after a touchdown drive just a moment ago for Tucson. Next week's IFL Game of the Week has us drive just a little south of here. You'll see this same Sugar Skulls team, but this time at home as they take on Massachusetts. Third down and 8 for Powell and company. A perfect 3 of 3 on offensive drives today, resulting in touchdowns. Powell zips it, end zone, caught. Jamal Miles with his second catch of the drive, and this one's for a touchdown.
Really nice job with the patience by Powell, surveying the entire field. And I think what goes underrated is the strength of his arm. He threw that ball off his back foot, and it was a bullet to the end zone. Can't even make a play on it defensively. Right on target.
This is a 1-minute warning.
Really fun to watch.
A 1-minute warning coming up after Lacayo's extra point attempt. And the kick is good. 30-13, Arizona's opened up a big lead. This offense, led by Drew Powell, cannot be stopped in the first half. week on Stadium from Phoenix, Arizona. The first time that there's been an IFL game in Phoenix in nearly 2 years. The home opener of the 2021 season, and at Homedale, it's been a great start for the Rattlers. They've scored on all 4 offensive possessions to open up a 17-point lead.
They have, and they've made some nice plays. They've had to overcome a couple fourth down situations. They made plays down the field. They've ran the football. I don't think there's anything more you could ask for if you're this Rattler coaching staff.
Drew Powell with 2 rushing touchdowns and a passing touchdown in this first half. His counterpart, Demry Croft, the rookie quarterback for Tucson, struggled in the opening 2 drives, but since then he's led 2 touchdown drives for the Sugar Skulls. Here's the return from Butler Boyd, spins from one defender and plunges his way down to the 13-yard line. And this is the best starting field position that Tucson has all game long, and it comes with under a minute to play before halftime.
It took a dramatic run back. Really nice job hanging in there by Butler Bird, 5'9", 180 pounds, and spinning off a couple would-be tacklers. And as you said, their best kickoff return possession on the field.
And it's an offense that has kind of figured things out over the last couple drives, back-to-back touchdowns led by Demry Croft. He's got 56 seconds to work with before the break. Quick throw, Shelby, first down, dragged down at midfield. Dylan Winfrey makes the tackle, but not before a 12-yard pickup.
Well, it's always interesting to me to see how these teams play the last minute, because it's the only minute that slows down at the end of the first half and the game.
Oh, wide open. Touchdown, Mike Jones out of the backfield.
Well, Coach talked a lot about getting him out in the passing game. We've seen him line up out there in the receiver position a few times already. Mike Jones. See the defensive snafu by the Rattlers, gets the ball out in a hurry and races to the end zone.
2 plays, 14 seconds. That's the beauty of the indoor game. Brown's extra point is good. 10-point game again. A quick strike for Tucson. Croft to Jones, 25 yards.
Your daily sports fix, Stadium's got you covered.
Welcome to the big time.
From the NFL and NBA
He's trying to compete, win a championship.
to college football and basketball.
I love the way they play.
Tune in weeknights at 6 p.m. for all your sports news, analysis, breakdowns, and more. It's the best hour of sports info and entertainment each day. Get your sports fix at 6. Weeknights on Stadium, your 24/7 home for sports.
It's the IFL Game of the Week on Stadium, and the first half has treated us well from Phoenix. A 10-point lead for Arizona on top of in-state rival Tucson. Sugar Skulls, after getting down 16-0, have scored on 3 consecutive drives to make this a 10-point game. Harrington from the back of the end zone on the return, crushed into the boards near the 10-yard line. Mike Minter makes the tackle on the play, and Arizona starts this drive with 39 seconds to go before halftime at their own 10-yard line.
Really nice job by Daniel Bowen. We talked about the Rattlers special teams. Nice job kicking that ball off nice and high, deep into the end zone, allowing your team to get down there and make the tackle before the Rattlers can get ahead of steam on them.
Next week's Game of the Week on Stadium, a 9 p.m. Eastern start. Every other game has been 8 o'clock, so we're an hour later in Tucson next week, where the Massachusetts Pirates travel to Tucson. Final 39 seconds here for the current IFL Offensive Player of the Week, Drew Powell, and his offense to try to extend this 10-point lead. Powell, clean pocket, gets hit by Fulham as he throws, and it ends up 4 rows into the stands.
Got rid of that ball at the very last second. Pretty good pass protection, but Fulham puts the pressure on late. Great coverage downfield, nowhere to go with the football. Remember, Drew Powell was in the end zone there. If the ball did not get back to the line of scrimmage, he too would have had intentional grounding, and that would have been a safety for the Sugar Skulls.
2 rushing touchdowns for Powell on top of those numbers that you saw at the bottom of your screen through the air. 30 seconds left. A lot of time again. This time it closes down on him. Powell escapes, and he's halted at the 15-yard line for 5 yards. And an immediate timeout taken by Kevin Guy and the Rattlers with 24 seconds left here in the first half.
That zone defense again for the Sugar Skulls. Nice job keeping everybody in front of them. Really nowhere to go with the football. Protection broke down late and was able to make sure they got him on the ground before he scrambled too far.
This is the last touchdown just moments ago.
And you can see simply no Rattler lined up over the running back Jones, and we've seen him line up outside the backfield quite a few times here in this first half.
Kevin Guy's defense has a great run stop. They're the #1 defense in the IFL, and because that, Dixie Wooten said, we know that, and we know they're going to be able to stop the run, but we want to get Mike Jones involved in the pass game, and that's a perfect example of doing that in the first half.
When you have a talent like Jones, you want to get the ball in his hands, no matter how you do it, as much as you can in a football game like this.
On the flip side, you want the ball in that guy's hands as much as possible. Drew Powell, the former MVP of the league. Out route, Harrington caught at midfield for a first down.
It's always interesting to me, the Indoor Football League, you know, the first part of each quarter goes so fast, and then the last minute, time almost stands still. It stops every time you go to the dasher boards and incomplete passes and timeouts, and give you a lot of time. Still 21 seconds left, which is an eternity in the Indoor Football League before the half.
Powell faces pressure. Miles is wide open, but he stumbled. Incomplete. There was nobody within 15 yards of Jamal Miles in the end zone.
Wow, and Delando Boyd and Corey Butler-Bird talking about who was supposed to run down the field. You're not going to get more wide open than that. Ball thrown a little bit behind him, couldn't get his feet under him, and that's one of those they'll have a little fun watching film about how they weren't able to complete that pass.
A little fun if they come away with a win tonight.
Yes, that's very true. Well, they'll have fun with it, just not in front of the coaches if they don't win.
Second down. Powell, all the time in the world, now scrambles out of it and gets pushed into the boards after a 4-yard pickup. Delando Boyd, the rookie, shoves him out of bounds with 10 seconds to play in the second quarter.
Protection's still good. The coverage for Tucson's just improved. Other than that previous play, and the Rattlers weren't able to take advantage of it, those windows have become a little tighter for Drew Powell to try and fit them in.
Third down and 6. Powell looking deep, and Harrington tripped. Time for one final play of the quarter with 4 seconds to play on a 4th and 6. You thinking go for it, or you thinking field goal here?
Well, again, I think that they're probably going to kick a field goal if it's me. Although in pregame warmups, Lacayo struggled a little bit from distance.
Drew Powell wanted to stay on the field, but instead they'll bring on Lacayo. This is a 35-yard field goal attempt for Lacayo. Good snap, good hold, but it's blocked. Harrington gets it off the tip, but he's tackled right away. T.T. Barber gets through the line and blocks the field goal attempt as time expires. Here in halftime, Arizona, hold on, one more play potentially as there's a flag on the play. Tucson already running off the field. They want to get into the locker room as quick as possible.
Well, the flag came out really late.
There is no foul on the play for illegal batting. It's halftime.
So they say no flag on the play for illegal batting. And we are at halftime. 10-point lead for Arizona here at home through one half, 30-20. Halftime in Phoenix, Arizona. It's our IFL game of the week on Stadium. The Arizona Rattlers up by 10 on the Tucson Sugar Skulls. Well, Dale, the first half, it was all Arizona to begin, jumping out to a 16-0 lead, and a lot of that was on the shoulders of their MVP quarterback, Drew Powell, who ran for a couple touchdowns.
Obviously, the Rattlers knew they needed to get off to a fast start. Got the visiting team coming in, or maybe doubting themselves a little bit. When you have a quarterback that has the talents that Drew Powell has, throwing the football, but here's the ultimate equalizer, the fact that he can carry onto the football, he can zone read you to death, he can throw the ball down the field, and he is a load to get down on the field when he decides to carry the football.
2 rushing touchdowns and a passing touchdown for Drew Powell. He's got the Rattlers up by 10 on Tucson. After the break, we'll send it back to our Chicago studios where Michael Kim will take you through halftime.
Hi, I'm Michael Kim from our stadium studio. It is halftime in that game in Arizona. We will get you back out there in just a bit. But first, we want to remind everyone that You Make the Call is live. IFL fans can engage like never before within a gamified experience through prediction-based games, poll questions, and more. Throughout the season, the gamified experience will intensify with more opportunities to win. So sign up now at watchstadium.com/YouMakeTheCall. Play, watch, and win great prizes including IFL tickets, team merchandise, and VIP experiences. The grand prize winner at the end of the season will win a trip for two to the 2021 IFL Championship game. It's never too late to sign up at watchstadium.com/YouMakeTheCall. It's a season-long experience. Coming up, we recognize the players of the week, including an impressive performance by tonight's quarterback. You are watching the IFL on Stadium. Welcome to the game. Here are the IFL Players of the Week. Arizona quarterback Drew Powell was a threat through the air and on the ground and wins Offensive Player of the Week. Powell combined for 240 yards of total offense, scoring 4 times, 1 passing and 3 rushing. That effort helped propel his team to a tough victory over the Green Bay Blizzard. Defensive Player of the Week is Green Bay defensive back Bakari Triggs, who made 10 tackles, all of which were solo, and he had an interception late in the first quarter. Despite the effort from Triggs, Green Bay fell to the Arizona Rattlers 41-34. And finally, on special teams, Frisco kicker Bryce Crawford drilled a game-winning field goal at the buzzer, keeping the Fighters the only undefeated team in the IFL. Crawford was also 7 of 8 on extra points. He and the Fighters took down the traveling Duke City Gladiators 58-57. Congratulations to Drew, Bakari, and Bryce on your Player of the Week honors. Next Saturday, Stadium has another great matchup. The Massachusetts Pirates visit the Tucson Sugar Skulls. That game is set for 9 p.m. Eastern right here on Stadium, the only free 24/7 network available on both television and digital devices without a cable subscription. Stadium is your home for the IFL. Welcome to the game. That does it from our Stadium studios. I'm Michael Kim. Remember to go over to @Stadium on Twitter to vote for your fan of the game. Up next, second half play from Arizona. Enjoy the rest of your game, everyone.
halftime of our IFL Game of the Week here in Phoenix, Arizona. The Arizona Rattlers on top of Tucson by 10 here on a great evening in downtown Phoenix. 30-20, Rattlers on top of the Tucson Sugar Skulls. Well, it didn't take long for Arizona to get started, Dale. A 16-0 lead in the matter of just a few moments, a couple of touchdowns. The defense got a safety. Early in this first half, it was all Arizona.
It was, and again, you're coming to visit the Snake Pit. First time they've played here in a long, long time. Coaches talked to them all week about getting out to a really, really fast start, and Tucson kind of withstood it. You see the safety here, nice pressure. Ball didn't get back to the line of scrimmage, and then the Rattlers go ahead and score on the zone. Read once again by Powell, and you jump off at 16-0, and Tucson really hadn't even got off the bus yet. But they kept their composure, and I think most Coach Wooten teams are going to keep their composure and fought back into this thing a little bit.
They got a touchdown from Monroe on the ground as well, did Arizona. The immediate drive after that, Croft answers back. He had a passing touchdown followed by a rushing touchdown, and that was the first through the air for the former MVP, Drew Powell.
Yes, you do. You see the time, and you see the accuracy and arm strength, and that's what makes Powell so dangerous. Again, you take a look here on a situation. They're a little over a minute left, and blown coverage by the Cardinals, and we've talked a number of times in the first half about how Coach Wooten said they're going to try and get Mike Jones involved in that passing game.
Here's a look at the first half stats. Total yards a little bit in favor of Arizona, but that gap's not quite as much as you probably would have guessed if you watched the first 5 minutes of this game where Arizona completely dominated every facet.
Well, two things that jump out to me. Number one, no turnovers by either team. We'll see if that stays through the second half. And then no penalty yards on the Arizona Rattlers. As aggressive as they play, that will surprise me a little bit.
So it's a 10-point lead for Arizona. Demry Croft, the quarterback for Tucson, has already thrown for over 100 yards here at halftime and a pair of touchdowns through the air. Those are the first half stats here on our IFL Game of the Week on Stadium. Take a look at the other scores across the league here tonight. A lot of games going on across the IFL here in Week 8 of the league. It's Week 5 of our IFL Game of the Week on Stadium. Well, Frisco, who's the only undefeated team left in the IFL. They've got a 2-touchdown lead in the third quarter. The Bismarck Bucks are taking it to the Iowa Barnstormers and the reigning MVP, Daquan Neal. That is a 50-15 lead up in Bismarck for the Bucks in the fourth quarter. Spokane Shock on top of the reigning champions by a touchdown at halftime early in Duke City in northern Arizona where there's no score. And then next week, our IFL Game of the Week. We were supposed to be in Frisco. A last-minute change just a couple days ago, so we take the short drive south on I-10 to Tucson, where we'll see the Sugar Skulls for back-to-back weeks, this time at home as they take on the Massachusetts Pirates. That's the scores around the league here in the IFL. We'll take our final break here of our halftime report. When we come back, we get you set for the start of the second half. The Rattlers and the Sugar Skulls in a tight one here in the first half. At halftime, it's a 10-point lead for the Rattlers. It's the IFL Game of the Week on Stadium from Phoenix, Arizona. The Arizona Rattlers in their first home game in nearly 2 years, on top of Tucson in the home opener with a 10-point lead over the Sugar Skulls. We're just a couple minutes away from the start of the second half. Next week, our IFL Game of the Week on Stadium is a 9 p.m. Eastern start instead of what has been 8 p.m. for the first 4 weeks of our schedule. We're in Tucson, just a little south of here in Phoenix. The Sugar Skulls are at home as they take on the Massachusetts Pirates. Next Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Stadium. Well, first half, the first 5 minutes of this game, Dale, was all Arizona, and Tucson was able to right the ship, and it feels like they settled in a little bit, and they get the football here to start the second half, only down by 10 at the break.
Yeah, and again, you mentioned a couple times in the first half, there's not a faster sport that you can score points in than right here, and that can flip in a heartbeat. Remember, Coach Guy told us earlier in the week, what's the one thing this Rattler team hasn't done? They haven't won a second half yet. So I promise you that was addressed at halftime. Now, it's one thing for the coaches to address it. It's another thing now can the players do something about it, and that'll be something to keep an eye on here as we go through this second half.
Dixie Wooten's team hoping to get back into the win column after a home loss to the Iowa Barnstormers last week, 33-13. They're in good shape right now, down by just 10 to start the second half.
Now, are you going to come clean to the Phoenix fans here?
What's that?
Are you going to come clean to the Phoenix fans here locally?
Am I going to come clean to them?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, you said that you're going to actually root for the Denver Nuggets tomorrow. So there's a Game 5. Are you going to come clean?
Let me explain. I say that because I want there to be a Game 5 because I'm in Phoenix for the next week with our next game being in Tucson. I'm trying to get playoff tickets to Game 5 for the Suns if they're in town.
So just for your own selfish ambition. You don't want the Suns to win tomorrow.
Game 4, give me the Nuggets so I can come to the playoffs, and then I'll be the biggest Suns fan in Game 5 as I watch the Suns here in Phoenix Suns Arena.
Oh, it's been so much fun living here locally and how desolate it's been here basketball-wise over the last decade. So however they win that fourth game, just win the fourth game.
Second half underway, Tucson with the football. Butler Bird escapes one tackle, and then he gets stood up at the 8-yard line. This feels like a big possession here, Dale. It's been right around 10-17 the entire first half. Tucson starts with the football to begin this third quarter, and with the score here, they could make this a one-possession game.
You've definitely seen the Sugar Skulls get more comfortable, as you mentioned, when it came out of halftime, felt more comfortable. Again, you have a young quarterback in Devery Croft. You give him protection. You've got your center, Matt Burrell, back in there. Both coaches mentioned him being a difference maker. Let's see if they can continue to get Mike Jones out of the backfield, catching the football as much as he did in that first half.
Demery Croft, the quarterback to begin here on the first drive of the third quarter. And he makes a play out to the 16-yard line. That's 8 plays on the opening play.
Well, what they're doing here is they're motioning out Mike Jones late in the snap count, confusing the Rattlers a little bit. A lot of communication going on with the DBs, and this place is pretty loud. Sometimes that backfires. It's pretty loud, can affect the offense, but also the communication on the defense.
That's the first catch of the day for Irving. Second down and short, and there's a penalty flag.
False start. Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty. It's
so
second
a false
down.
start against Tucson backs up the Sugar Skulls, and instead of a second down and short, it's second down and long.
Well, they only had 29 penalty yards in the first half, but it's things like that. You come up with a positive play. Let's stack another positive play, and then another one. Let's put a drive together and score points. And now this backs you up a little bit. It gets you out of your rhythm a little bit.
And they've been in quite a rhythm. Last 3 drives to end that first half. Tucson found the end zone, led by Demery Croft, who threw for a couple touchdowns. 2nd and 7, designed keeper this time. He lowers the shoulder and plunges his way out to the 15-yard line. He gets nearly all of the penalty yardage back.
When you look at this Rattler defense, they work against that offense every day in practice and kind of build to stop the run, but nice positive pickup, brings up 3rd, very manageable.
What have you seen differently from Tucson in the first couple drives when they were really sluggish offensively to what we've seen here at the end of the first half?
I've just seen them settle down a little bit. And again, a lot of it's the quarterback. He needed to complete a pass or two and feel good about himself. But once he did that, everybody will settle down around him.
Well, his running back, Mike Jones, helps him out here with a 1st down carry.
Tell you what, 5'11", 219 pounds, low center of gravity. He comes racing through that hole, lowers his shoulder, and we've talked about business decisions. Those little DBs have to make business decisions on exactly where you want to tackle Mike Jones.
Jones was a first-team All-IFL running back his rookie year back in 2019, even missed 2 games. Croft breaks off a big run, and it's 8 yards into Arizona territory.
Number 11, Demery Croft for the keeper.
6'5", 200 pounds, and you give him a little wiggle room right here, squeezes through. Really nice job by that offensive line for Tucson, coming off the football, doing a tremendous job knocking Rattlers defensive lineman off the football.
His head coach said as soon as he starts to figure things out from the quarterback spot, this Tucson team is going to turn a corner in a hurry. Croft this time turns it for a 1st down to the 11-yard line. 9 yards from the quarterback, back-to-back good runs by the rookie.
Well, that's the intangibles that he brings to this football team. Hey, if you don't like anything downfield, tuck the football and go get me a 1st down. We'll live to see another play rather than you trying to force something into a coverage that you're not familiar with. Run the football, let's pick it up, and let's continue this drive.
He took a crushing hit from Josh Gordon on that defensive line for Arizona, but it wasn't until 9 yards and a 1st down. Tucson knocking on the door of the red zone on the opening offensive drive of this 2nd half. Croft had it batted away. Ricky Wyatt Jr., the veteran linebacker, gets a hand on it, and it's incomplete.
Really know where to go with the football. Good coverage down the field by the Rattlers. And again, we've talked about the differences in philosophy. Dixie Wooten, he wants to slow the game down. He loves this kind of drive. Take time off the clock and limit the possessions. Kevin Guy, on the other hand, wants to speed it up. And so Kevin Guy's going to take some chances defensively, play man-to-man, jump routes, things like that. That time, at least it was not a negative play.
This drive much in favor of Tucson, more than 5 minutes, and a wide open Peterson in the end zone.
Fits it in between 2 defenders, little zip on the ball, nice ball fake. You can just see the confidence building in his entire team, but especially in Demery Croft.
3rd touchdown today through the air for Croft. And they're an extra point away from this being just a 3-point game after getting down 16-0 in the 1st quarter. Brown the extra point. Straight down the middle. 3-point game early in the 3rd quarter. Tucson has gotten their way back in it behind their rookie quarterback, Demery Croft. lot to dance about if you're an Arizona Rattlers fan here at home in the home opener. 2 years of no IFL football in Phoenix, and it's finally returned to Phoenix Suns Arena. They were up by 16, Dale, to start this game in the first 8 or 9 minutes, but since then, Tucson has really settled into things here on the road. We've got ourselves a 3-point ball game.
Well, we do, but I'm more interested in you're taking that guy on virtually in the dance contest. You had him beat. You had him beat. I didn't know that they could dance up in Bismarck, North Dakota.
There's not a dancing bone in my body. Brown to kick it away. Harrington deep into his own end zone for the return. Harrington swims past a defender, and he's hit at the 15-yard line. Delando Boyd, who's made play after play so far defensively and on special teams, makes the tackle.
Well, nice job lowering that shoulder by Boyd, because there was some running room if he doesn't make that tackle. Make sure that he's down on the ground, 6 foot, 200-pound defensive back. Really nice job slowing down that return.
At one point in this game, total yards were 60-0 in favor of Arizona, and right now Tucson actually has that advantage by 22 yards here to begin the third quarter. Time for Drew Powell and company, though, in the opening drive of the third quarter, and Monroe gets planted into the boards after a limited gain of maybe a yard.
T.T. Barber again. Folks, I can't adequately explain what it feels like to get hit from one side, driven into the dasher boards. There's nothing that really prepares you for that. Watch his contact right there. Even though there's padding, it's not really padding.
Doesn't feel like it when
No.
T.T. Barber slams you into the boards like that. Powell on 2nd and long, right over the middle. And a pickup of 5 yards. It's Daryl Monroe out of the backfield. And you got to be able to get him involved somehow, because he's arguably the best back in the IFL, Dale, but 4 carries for just 5 yards more than halfway through the game. Tucson's defense has limited him really well.
It's usually when they kind of force feed him the ball and get running downhill, gets his big offensive line run blocking, that he can become dominant, but they have not gotten that running game going so far against his Tucson defense.
Powell almost at 100 yards through the air. He goes to Harrington, and it's broken up. Braylon Evans out of Montana State makes an incredible one-on-one play in the end zone.
Just chasing and chasing and chasing, had a chance. Nice job not committing the interference. Saw Harrington's eyes open, and that's when he got his hands up. But tremendous job not giving up on the play.
He had a big game against Green Bay a couple weeks ago. Makes a nice play there. 4th down. Miles almost brought it in with one hand, but it's incomplete. And for the first time today, the Tucson defense gets a stop. Had him, just overthrew him.
Well, the guy who really made that play go was Matt Elam. Number 22 for Tucson, came up and was really physical on the receiver. I think that Powell wanted to go to. Remember, Matt Elam, he's a first-round
Number
pick
99
for
for
the
Arizona
Raiders back in 2013.
Now number 93.
Coach Wooten continues to talk about his leadership, how he can do check with me's in the defensive backfield, and what a leader he is for this team.
Yeah, an All-American at Florida, then drafted 32nd overall by the Baltimore Ravens back in the 2013 draft. Demry Croft, with great field position to open this drive in Arizona territory, gets 5 yards on the quarterback keeper.
Well, and here's the thing that always kind of ruffles my feathers a little bit. What's wrong with gaining 5 yards right here? Why not run that play again? Why not gain another 5 yards? Instead of dropping back and throwing the football and having a chance of interception, or they seem to be so impatient, most of these teams. And let's see how much patience this Tucson Sugar Skull coaching staff can have.
Yeah, Croft's doing it all. 120 through the air, more than 50 on the ground. Hey, they listen to you. They run it again. This time it only goes for 2.
But that's fine. It's 3rd and 3. Give me 3rd and 3 in the indoor football league. Give me that every time I have the football. That was just a really nice job fighting underneath the block and being able to get him on the ground there. Nice job by Ricky Wyatt Jr., the 6', 240-pound linebacker. He led the Rattlers in sacks back in 2019.
He makes the play on the quarterback for just a couple yards. 3rd and 3. Crofts tripped at the 11-yard line. He didn't make it there. And now it's decision time on 4th and 1. Do you go for the field goal to tie the game, or do you keep your offense on the field as they've been clicking over the last quarter or so?
I run the same play one more time. I dare them to stop me on 4th down and short. I mean, they're making great plays, but it's still going for a couple yards. I dare you to stop me.
Tucson is a perfect 3 of 3 on 4th down today. They only need a yard to keep this drive alive. Croft, the option. Jones has the first down, lowers the shoulder, dives to the goal line, but they mark him down at the 2.
Rule in the field as the runner was short of the goal line.
He lowers those
1st down,
shoulders.
Tucson.
And this Tucson football team, they're starting to feel a little bit. There's a little more swagger a little more talking coming out of them. Kind of fun to watch them when they get things rolling a little bit.
And things certainly have been rolling for Tucson. 4 straight drives that have ended in points for the Sugar Skulls. 3.5 to play, 3rd quarter. Jones again into the end zone, and Tucson has the lead for the first time today.
Little dancing going on over there, little swagger going on. I'm not so sure that I don't continue to run the football if I'm Tucson and dare Arizona to stop me. It's a great way to slow those possessions down, play into your wheelhouse rather than the Rattlers' wheelhouse.
"21 unanswered for Tucson, and the Sugar Skulls out of nowhere have the lead with under 3 to go in the 3rd. Mike Jones scampers in his first today. You Make the Call is live at watchstadium.com/YouMakeTheCall. Join in on the gamified experience through prediction-based questions and more. Play, watch, and win great prizes like IFL tickets, team merchandise, and VIP experience. It's never too late to sign up for season-long experience at watchstadium.com/YouMakeTheCall. What a last quarter it's been. Arizona led by as many as 16 in the first half. Tucson scored 21 unanswered. Dale, and for the first time today, the Sugar Skulls have a lead. Booted deep up against the boards. Harrington spun down at the 9-yard line. Great coverage on the return by Tucson.
First lead that they've had, number one. Number two, don't think it doesn't creep in the Rattlers' mind of, hey, we haven't won a second half yet. If they don't win a second half today, guess what? They're going to lose. And so just a tremendous job, the resolve that this Tucson team has shown. As you pointed out a number of times, down 16-0 really before half the fans sat down in their seats. And the way they've come back methodically in that last drive, that was imposing their will.
Here's Harrington on the end around, and he crawls his way out for 4 yards. Yeah, that's a good point, Dale. 3-0 as far as first halves go for Arizona this season. They led at halftime all 3 games, but they haven't outscored an opponent in the second half yet. Luckily for them, they built up big enough leads in 2 of those 3 games to win, but that's not really the case here today.
And it's not a recipe for winning a championship.
Powell, clean pocket. Far sideline, and it goes right through the hands of his intended target, Jamal Miles.
See a little frustration on the Rattlers. Guys jumping up and down, a little upset at each other. And I think we'd be remiss if we not mention the owner of the Tucson franchise, Kathy Guy. She happens to be married to the head coach of the Rattlers, Kevin Guy. They've been married for 27 years. Now, how on earth she can put up with him for 27 years? She's a saint and an angel, but she's the owner. She's the one who brought in Dixie Wooten and this coaching staff. And Coach Guy told me, he said, you know what? If she's learned anything from me, it's you take emotion out of these decisions and you get the best guy for the job.
Monroe out of the backfield. He's clipped down at the 19, and that's enough for a first down. Yeah, it's an interesting story because you got Kevin Guy, who's the head coach and the president of the Arizona Rattlers, but then he was also a big part of why Tucson's even a team. The owner, he bought the team, but he made it really clear to you and I. He said, I may advise Kathy on situations here and there. He goes, but take me out of it. Every decision is really made by Kathy now, and he said, I don't have near as much say, really any say, in what Tucson does.
And he said, again, she's watched me make decisions for all these years, and the one thing that I've always done, and if you've known Kevin for any amount of time, as the Rattlers pick up another first down on the ground, it's that Kevin makes decisions without emotion. He's an emotional guy, an emotional coach, but when he makes decisions, there's not emotions there. When you look at this Tucson franchise, I mean, there's great facilities down there. You know what great facilities in the Indoor Football League do? It's great for recruiting.
Yep.
That's the
And
end
when
of
guys
third
have
quarter.
a chance to go a couple different places, guess what? Tucson looks pretty good.
Tucson's looking pretty good in this game, too. 21 unanswered, and the Sugar Skulls have a 4-point lead as we head to the 4th on Stadium.
The Arizona Rattlers.
It's the IFL Game of the Week on Stadium. Arizona was out to a 16-0 lead in this game before you could even blink, but Tucson scored 21 unanswered at the end of the second and into the third quarter, and the Sugar Skulls have a 34-30 lead as we head into the final 5 minutes in Phoenix. It's now time to reveal our fan of the game. It's fan number 3, and how could you go with anyone else? That guy looks like he is excited to have some IFL football back in Phoenix. The snake wrapped around his head. Maybe that's a rally cap in sorts because his team needs to rally and take a lead here, being down for the first time tonight.
I'm sorry, I don't know. This is my first game with you guys. Don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I just saw 2 people walk by with Wetzel Pretzel bags. I got way distracted on who the fan of the game was. But, yeah, look at him. He also brought a sign with him. Here in Arizona, the Rattlers have been around a long time. There's a lot of long-time fans who are glad they're playing again.
And congratulations to fan number 3. He's our winner of fan of the game. This Arizona team went 14-0 in the regular season in 2019 under the direction of Drew Powell, but they lost in the United Bowl Championship to Sioux Falls, and it's a team that very much has aspirations to win the title this year. And before we can even get a play off in the fourth quarter, there's a flag.
False start. Offense, number 56. 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
So a false start against the first team All-IFL center, Steven Garola.
Always kind of interesting when the center gets called for a false start. Maybe he flinched a little bit there from our angle. We really couldn't see it. You talked about that undefeated season and knowing Coach Kevin Guy for all these years. You talk to coaches, they don't want to go undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
They want to win the championship. It's your choice if you want to put the record on the ring. All they want to do is win the championship.
Powell extending the play over the middle, has Pelletier, and it's at the 20-yard line. He gets nearly all of the penalty yardage back.
Boy, that is scary. You're holding your breath if you're a Rattler fan. Throwing the ball late over the middle across your body. Again, nowhere to go with the football, 3-man rush, keeping him in the pocket. Tremendous job by that defensive line. But you throw across your body and to your offhand into the middle of the field late, that's usually an interception.
Well, Kevin Guy said when you have a franchise quarterback like Drew Powell, it's my job to put everybody else around him. And he's got some of the best receivers in the league to be able to throw to. Flag comes in at the very end of the play. They're going to get Mike Minter for pass interference. He wanted Pelletier again.
Yeah, there's certain calls that you can argue about a little bit. This one is pretty clear.
Pass interference. Defense, number 6. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic.
Mike Minter, trying to argue his case with the official. But there was a lot of contact before that ball got there.
At that time, you had the Tucson defense deciding to bring 4. He didn't get there quick enough. Ball came out. Put your defensive backs in some precarious positions against this talented Rattler wide receiver group.
Arizona looking to reclaim the lead. Monroe on the ground, bounces outside, dives! Touchdown!
Well, who are they running behind? They're running behind Lamar Mady, Steven Garola. Lamar Mady is, I can't figure out why he's not playing in the National Football League. He's been a dominant lineman for the Indoor Football League for 5, 6, 7 years. Just tremendous at the point of attack. Great pass blocker, and the best offensive lineman in the Indoor Football League.
Played a few games with the Raiders. He's a 3-time All-IFL offensive lineman. The kick goes through. Rattlers regain the lead on a touchdown run from their all-league running back, Daryl Monroe, puts the Rattlers back up 3. A back and forth second half here in Phoenix, Arizona. The Arizona Rattlers jumped out to a 16-0 lead in the first quarter. Tucson took a lead momentarily, but that lasted all of one drive before Daryl Monroe and company could regain the lead. Next week's IFL Game of the Week on Stadium takes us a little less than 2 hours south of here down I-10. This same Sugar Skulls team will be at home against the Massachusetts Pirates. That is a 9 p.m. Eastern kickoff right here on Stadium. Just over 13 minutes to play in a 3-point game. Butler Bird on the return. Tried to shake a defender, but he gets crushed at the 3-yard line. Ricky Wyatt Jr. with the big blow.
Well, you talk about Ricky Wyatt Jr., we've talked about him defensively. Remember, he's the leader in sacks for the Rattlers in 2019, and here he is covering kicks. Hey, you want to know if special teams are important to the Rattlers, just look how many starters and key figures contribute on special teams. Let's see, I'm fascinated to see how Tucson is going to handle this next drive.
The worst starting field position they've had today, backed up at their own 3-yard line. Quick throw, Irvin makes the catch at the 9-yard line, and that's a nice 6-yard pickup to get some breathing room from the edge of that goal line.
As you can see, Croft putting a little bit more zip on these passes, throwing them a lot more confidently than he was early in the football game. Remember, you got Burrell back. Coach Wooten talks about him being the stud center that they needed back, and then you got an all-league running back and Mike Jones, and you got a tremendous athlete who can throw the football in Demery Croft.
He's just a rookie at the quarterback spot, but when he turns the corner, this team might be one of the best in the league. He gets a first down on a quick throw to Ryan Ballantyne, a name we haven't said, rather that's Peterson. But going back to Ballantyne, that's a name that we haven't said a lot tonight, Dale. Coming into tonight, he was just 49 receiving yards away from being the all-time leader in IFL history in reception yards.
And the Rattlers have done a tremendous job shutting him down, making Croft go somewhere else to complete his passes.
Peterson does have one of the touchdown receptions from Croft today. He moves the sticks. Ball at the 16-yard line. Croft, design keeper, finds a gap, makes a defender miss. He's got the first down, and he's brought down by his ankles into Arizona territory. Devin Cockrell with the shoestring tackle.
Well, a nice job. You can tell Croft very comfortable carrying the ball, comes up there to the gap. Nice job blocking downfield, then switches the ball from his left hand to his right hand. Really fun to watch him carry the football.
That's 13 for Powell on the ground.
Tremendous block up front by Fashone, number 55 for the Sugar Skull offensive line.
Croft spins away, but he can't get away. Ricky Wyatt Jr. again makes the play.
It kind of looked like there was some confusion on the Sugar Skull offense there. That Rattler defense flying to the football. Nice sure tackle, making sure that Croft can't squeeze out of there.
Under 10 to go now. A 3-point lead for Arizona at home. Tucson, an expansion team that just started in 2019, so this is the beginning of their second season as a franchise, looking for their first ever win against one of the best teams in IFL history in Arizona. And Croft shoots it past Jones, his running back.
And you could argue if you're a Sugar Skull fan, there's a little contact as he was releasing, but I just think that's one of those plays that Croft is going to be able to look at film and go, I've got to develop that. We've seen it to both sides now. He's got to put air under this. Put air under the ball, let your guy, let your Mike Jones run under it and make a play on the football. You cannot throw every football with zip.
The Arizona fans coming to life here in Phoenix Suns Arena. 3rd down and long. Diving play for Ballantyne at the 14-yard line. What a throw and what a catch.
I mean, Pearson, you're nothing else you could do if you're Tyrell Pearson. As good a coverage as you're going to find, and just better execution by Ryan Ballantyne and Demery Croft.
I mean, Pearson is all over that play. But Ballantyne, the diving catch. And Dixie Wooten calls a timeout with 4th down and short.
They're first of the half.
Coming up after the timeout, biggest play of the game to this point on the other side. Tucson down by 3.
For media.
The IFL Game of the Week on Stadium has proved to be a great one here in Phoenix, Arizona. A 3-point lead for the home Rattlers, trying to close it out against Tucson. 4th down and 5 coming up for the Sugar Skulls. Where are you going here?
Well, I'm fascinated to see. If it's me, I'm running a zone read. I'm putting it in my 2 best players' hands. I'm going to let Croft make a decision with Mike Jones having a chance to carry the ball. And now that's me. I very easily could say, hey, let's run a couple short routes. Or do I have the nerve / guts to run a double move again like they've done before in situations like this and take a shot in the end zone?
4th and short here for Croft. Loudest the Rattler fans have been tonight. Trick play, Ballantyne his it, he throws, and it's incomplete. The Arizona defense sniffed that out perfectly.
And that was Dylan Winfrey, 5'8", 185-pound veteran for the Rattlers, sniffed that out. Came racing across the line of scrimmage, did not give Ballantyne any opportunity to hold on to the football and throw it down the field.
That is a massive stop by Arizona's defense, and Kevin Guy's club gets the football back, winding under 8 minutes to go and a 3-point lead. They're 2-1, Dale, but one thing they've struggled to do early in this season is close out games. They may have won a couple of them, but the second half is where they've struggled in all 3 games so far this season.
The Rattlers, when they're a championship caliber football team, they close teams out. They beat you up so that in the 4th quarter, you're looking for a place to hide and a place to quit. And that's what they kind of rallied around. That obviously has not happened early in the football season. Now, part of that is talking to Coach Guy this week. So quite frankly, a lot of guys with the year off last year, took them a little bit longer to get into shape. You know, and you know, you could sit here as older guys and go, well, what did you do? Why weren't you working out? Why weren't you doing what you were supposed to do? But he said it's taken quite a few of the guys more time than usual to get into football shape.
50 of those 68 yards for Powell came in the first quarter on the ground. He's been kind of quiet as of late. This time he tosses it to his running back, Monroe, who gets maybe a yard, and it sets up 3rd down and 6.
And again, Arizona's defense came up with a couple plays, and Tucson come up with a couple plays. And again, you start just looking at these guys. T.T. Barber is going to be absolutely exhausted tonight on the bus trip back to Tucson. I mean, he has played a whale of a football game.
We've said that name. It feels like just about every tackle Tucson has made today, defensively and special teams. Third down and 6 for Powell. Clean pocket, zips it over the middle, and he's got his target, Miles. A first down into Tucson territory at the 16.
Almost unfair when you have that much time to throw. The pocket's clean. Jamal Miles coming clear across the football field, working on Evans. Able to come down with the football. Again, people go out in your backyard and have somebody throw you the football as you're racing towards the fence. And another guy coming up to hit you. Just try and recreate what these receivers have to deal with when they're catching the football.
Yeah, there might be a little padding on those walls, but more times than not, those are concrete walls that they're running into. Powell, look at all that time, escapes from Martin. Flag comes in, and he's chopped down inside the 10-yard line, and there might be more yards added to that run.
I'm not sure. Well, it's interesting because I think that they were thinking there might be some offensive linemen downfield, but then he didn't end up throwing the football.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
So a face mask, half the distance to the goal at the end of this Drew Powell run. And there it is, turns his face sideways.
Face mask, you still can't get him down.
The current IFL Offensive Player of the Week. He combined for 4 touchdowns last week. He's got 3 today. 1 through the air, 2 on the ground. And trying to make this a 2-possession game deep into the 4th quarter on a 1st and goal from the 4. Monroe on the ground. Hops his way to the outside, and then he's stood up by a trio of Tucson defenders at the 1-yard line.
When you look at this, the way this game was played out, it looked like the Rattlers were on pace to score 65, 70 points. You know, the Sugar Skulls have slowed them down a little bit, and they're most likely to score a touchdown here and put that pressure back on Tucson to see if they can score a couple times before the end of the game.
A touchdown, a safety, and a touchdown all in the first 8 minutes of the game to leap out to a 16-0 lead, but this is just a 3-point game with under 4.5 to go. Powell drives his way in for a touchdown.
Just another running back. I mean, you got Daryl Monroe leading along with your offensive line, doing a tremendous job. Your battering ram of a running back, Monroe, 6'2", 220. Your quarterback, Drew Powell, 6'3", 220.
Third rushing touchdown for the quarterback, Drew Powell. Puts his team up 9. Lacayo's extra point makes it 10. 44-34, the Rattlers with a 10-point lead late in the 4th quarter. Drew Powell trying to put this thing away.
With teams from coast to coast and growing, we are the Indoor Football League. The IFL is the nation's longest continuously running pro indoor football league, and we want you to get in on the action. Visit GoIFL.com to watch games, learn about our players and coaches, and click on your favorite team's site for tickets and official team merchandise. Follow us on social media and visit GoIFL.com.
It's go time for the Tucson Sugar Skulls. They had a 34-30 lead after trailing by 16, but Arizona has got back-to-back touchdowns. And Dale, the Rattlers find themselves up by 10, 3.5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter of their home opener.
Well, remember, 3.5 minutes in the Indoor Football League in the 4th quarter. This might go 20 minutes. A lot can happen, especially in that last minute, especially if Tucson can come down here and score a touchdown on this next drive.
Tucson had a 14-second touchdown drive in the second quarter, so this offense can strike in a hurry. Butler Bird tries to spin away from a defender, and he gets down to the 10-yard line. Ricky Wyatt Jr., surprised we're saying that name again, makes the tackle on kickoff coverage.
Well, these are the games and the situations you want your young quarterback in. Whatever happens today, you got to figure it's going to pay dividends as the season goes along.
Does things change here for Dixie Wooten, because it's a Tucson team that loves to play slow, but you got to know that with 3.5 minutes to go that it may be time to pick up the pace a little bit?
Well, it is, but you're going to have a defensive stop. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you can take 2 minutes, run the football a couple times, throw the ball, take your time on this drive, but you have to score.
Croft wanting the deep ball right away, and it's intercepted! Dylan Winfrey picks it off with just over 3 to go. The first turnover of the day is a massive play late in the fourth quarter.
Winfrey playing center field, ball hung up. We've been talking about throwing the ball with a little touch, put a little air under that, but that's when it's man-to-man. That's when there's no safety sitting in the center field that can cover both sides in the indoor football league. And that's the zone defense that Kevin Guy adjusted to right there. Ball hangs up and allows him to get over there, Dylan Winfrey, and make the interception.
And with 3 minutes to go, the former IFL MVP and his offense come back out onto the field with a chance to ice it. We talked about it plenty, but 3 minutes in the indoor game is a lot of time. Pelletier with a quick catch on the near sideline for about 5 yards.
Be kind of remiss if we didn't throw out there the name Connie Kauai, the assistant head coach, offensive line coach for the Rattlers, who's been here for as long as Kevin Guy has and just continues to find guys. Jair Jones and Kenny Thomas, now 2 new linemen who battle for playing time each and every week in the grade practices and all that. Kind of an embarrassment of riches. They continue to find offensive linemen who can battle for all league honors.
The best offensive line each of the last 2 years. They've led the league in rushing yards in 2019 and 2021. Powell tries to go through the air, but overshoots Miles downfield.
Well, again, number 23, T.T. Barber putting pressure on Powell. Ball had to come out a little bit early and a little bit less accurately. Give me T.T. Barber on my team any day of the week.
He's made things difficult for the quarterback Drew Powell today. Final 90 seconds of what has proved to be a fantastic game. We weren't sure if we were going to get that. About 8 minutes into this game, it was 16-0. Arizona was rolling, but Tucson has stormed back in a big way, even took a lead for a moment in the third quarter. And right before the play clock runs out, Kevin Guy takes a timeout with 1:06 to go.
Their first of the half.
1:06 to play in this fourth quarter. Take a timeout. Rattlers up 10. Third down and 4 to go with just over a minute to play. And the Rattlers up by 10. Flag in. Throw over the middle, and it's caught at midfield. Jared Harrington, the leading receiver for Arizona this season, hauls it in and brings us to the 1 minute warning. A huge third down conversion
Illegal defense
for Arizona.
Tucson, number 19, was out of his stance at the snap. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
They'll decline the
The
penalty,
1 minute warning.
and that sends us to the 1 minute warning. 44-34, Arizona is just 60 seconds away from winning their home opener in the IFL Game of the Week on Stadium. Phoenix, Arizona has treated us well on the IFL Game of the Week on Stadium. A packed house here in Phoenix Suns Arena, and their home team, who's playing in front of the home fans for the first time in almost 2 years, has a 10-point lead in the final 60 seconds. The former IFL MVP Drew Powell has played like one tonight, and he's 1 minute away from closing this thing out and getting a win for the Rattlers. First down from midfield. They go to the ground, and Monroe was able to spin his way down to midfield, and it keeps the clock going. Don't forget, with the indoor football rules, if they wouldn't have got positive yardage there, the clock would not continue to run.
So it's kind of interesting. Usually you see the opposing team use their timeouts here. Right now, Kevin Guy just realized they're not using their timeout, so he's just going to let it run down.
Under 30 seconds to go.
Mean, he'll let it run down to 1 second and call a timeout himself.
Yep. And so with 1 second on that play clock, Kevin Guy calls a timeout with only 15
timeout
on the game clock.
Arizona, their second and a half.
I am shocked
Game clock
that Tucson
operator,
did
please
not
reset
call
the
a
game
timeout
clock
after
to
that first
17
play.
seconds.
You know, it's a 10-point
seconds.
game,
Thank you.
two-possession game. I think, well, you saw the look of surprise on Kevin Guy's face.
Yeah.
Once they gained yardage and the officials let the coaching staff know for Tucson, they want to call a timeout, and they said no.
Man, it is so good to have the indoor game back here in Phoenix. They've been treated well by their home team. Who are just 17 seconds away from a home opener win here in 2021 to advance to 3-1 on the season, with the lone loss coming against the defending champions in Sioux Falls on the road 3 weeks ago. 17 seconds to go. Second down and long. Powell picks up positive yardage, escapes a defender, and tumbles down to the 16-yard line. It's a yard shy of the first down, but Dixie Wooten elects to not take the timeout, and Arizona comes away with a win in their first home game in nearly 2 years. The Rattlers end the game on a 14-0 run. Down in the third quarter, Arizona wins this one 44-34 over in-state rival, the Tucson Sugar Skulls. That wraps things up here from Phoenix Suns Arena. We'll take a break, and we'll wrap it up here on the broadcast tonight. Arizona 10-point winners over Tucson in the IFL Game of the Week on Stadium from Phoenix. The IFL Game of the Week on Stadium proved to be the game of the week across the league. A fun one and a tight one in Phoenix. A 44-34 win for the Arizona Rattlers on top of in-state foe Tucson Sugar Skulls. Well, we'll wrap things up here tonight in Phoenix, and it was a great start for Arizona. It ended up being a fantastic game, Dale, but I don't know if we thought that would be the case in the first 8 or 10 minutes. A touchdown, a safety, and a touchdown. The Rattlers blew this open 16-0 in the matter of just a few minutes.
Whenever I do a game, I'm not cheering for anybody. I want to see a good game. And I'm not very good at math, but I'm going, okay, a 16 in the first half, so it's 32 in a quarter, and all of a sudden it's going to be 100 and something to 10. I just wanted to see an exciting game, and you got to give credit to the Tucson Sugar Skulls for regrouping after that slow start and making a game out of it.
They scored 21 unanswered points at one time over the course of the second and third quarters. They took a lead 34-30 at one point. They ended up being behind on the total yards category here tonight, Dale, but at one point that wasn't the case. Demery Croft, the rookie quarterback, is turning a corner.
He is, and again, he made some plays, especially after the start he got off to. And that's what I'm looking at if I'm the coaching staff. He overcame the adversity. Things didn't start off really super great for him, but he found a way to battle back. And I tell you, you're going against a team who had 5 penalty yards and no turnovers. That's hard to beat any team that plays like that.
Yeah, and a really nice job by Tucson to come back, but you got to give a lot of credit to Arizona because, in a sense, they did the same thing. Down 34-30, they closed this game on a 14-0 run to move to 3-1 on the season.
Well, I think it's still a work in progress, these second halves. I know that the coaching staff for the Rattlers are not used to having to figure out a way to score more points in the second half. And they'll figure out a way as this season goes along.
44-34 win for Arizona here tonight in our IFL Game of the Week. Next week's Game of the Week takes us down I-10, and I'm glad we get to see this Tucson team again. 9 p.m. Eastern next Saturday right here on Stadium against a good Massachusetts team, but it'll be back-to-back weeks that we get to see Demery Croft and this Sugar Skulls team. And Dale, I think that it's a team as young as they are that's really going to start turning some heads in this league.
He does not have to look very much further than the Rattlers a couple years ago when they joined the IFL and they got off to a slow start, finished strong, and I believe they were the champions.
Be sure to tune in with us next Saturday, a week from today, 9 p.m. Eastern. Note that start time. It's usually 8 p.m. Eastern for our IFL Game of the Weeks. Next week in Tucson, we are 9 p.m. Eastern. Today's game was produced and directed by Brent Borkus. For my broadcast partner, the 3-time Super Bowl champion, Dale Hellestrae, I'm Noah Reed, saying so long from Phoenix here on our IFL Game of the Week on Stadium. Drew Powell and company pull away late, and the Rattlers win it 44-34 in Phoenix.